Hi guys, this is Chris with CodeChris.com. Thank you for watching, liking, and subscribing. And if you like the content I'm producing, leave a comment down below or let me know any questions or whatever the case is. Let's continue. So I am recapping specific goals that happened for 2017, and let's just see how we did, right? So first of all, we have the first thing I was supposed to do was a small scale hackathon with a friend of mine whose name is Nem, and he was supposed to have his own channel and stuff, and he got busy, things got busy, work, yada yada yada. You all know how it goes. Well, what's important is we did actually have a sit down, we did talk, and we did go back and forth through a number of things. Ultimately, what ended up happening is we just never got around to it. I ended up looking for new work and started focusing on my field, and he ended up busy with work and a bunch of other stuff. So with all that being said, that didn't happen. Will it happen next year? Maybe. Sell wallets. So sell wallets was something else that I wanted to do right here. Yep, right here. And that was because I wanted to do a physical commodity good, something that was just a customer gives me money and we make that good. My wife has these really cool wallets that she's made, and I wanted to go ahead and sell it, but unfortunately, first of all, I did some of the initial SEO, checking things out. The competition for slim wallets is ridiculously competitive, which isn't the worst thing, but it's ridiculously competitive. So to make a mark is very much involved as far as the process goes. The other thing too is more so what really happened was we got pregnant and we had a baby, and with all that, it's a lot of work, and you really need to pick and choose your time and where your time is allotted. Now I can't sew, so my wife is actually going to be doing this initially, but she's very, very busy, and you know, our baby requires a lot of time, so we're holding off on that idea for the moment. That may not be the route we ultimately take. It did get me focusing on the idea of just releasing a product as opposed to a service for some additional income. And so with that being said, I'm going to be looking into changing the direction from a physical good to a digital good. I have a skill set. Let's go ahead and produce some digital content that we can somehow distribute and profit from. Next. So Android app. So initially when I was in this learning process, I didn't have a very clear direction. I ultimately really did want to go down the mobile development route. I really did want to become a mobile developer. And the thing is, what ended up happening is I ended up getting a job in the industry, and I had to focus my skill sets on that, and it seemed to tear me in two different directions. And once again, we talk about time management, so you have to focus and really choose where you want to set your time. I am intentionally making these videos despite having limited time because I think this channel can go somewhere. I think this channel is an investment in my part, and ultimately will have some sort of ROI that is marketable. And with that being said, it's probably good practice for me too, so I avoid always using the ums and ahs, etc, etc, etc. So with that being said, my time is being focused on this. My time is being focused on whatever the goals are for 2018, different video, which did not include Android. So I started building stuff with Android and I stopped. And this is, by the way, very common. A lot of you will actually end up doing this where you work on a project and you're just focusing on it and then you just stop. And it could be a number of reasons. I say one, usually the project's too big, too ambitious, or it's also that you found out maybe that's not the direction you want to go down, right? There's a lot more involved in that. And so because of what I'm learning and everything, at the moment, web development's where I'm going. And then I'm talking about things, wanting to learn things like React Native, which will start to go into mobile development. So maybe if I just wait around long enough, things will get easier, and I could just take what I already know and just apply it. So there's that. Story, that was just a more advanced app. That kind of has to go on hold, right? It has to go on hold now because I don't really know Android development. And it's crazy because you realize just how quickly you start to forget stuff real quick because of compiling and Android Studio and taking up space, just all this stuff. You slowly start to forget things, and because you're not using them as much. And I know Android's also updated, so it's not just straight up Java. They have a new language that they're messing with. Once again, if I'm not a mobile developer, maybe that's something that I should be thinking about as far as putting your time where you're not going in that direction anyways. So I want to start producing stuff. I want to start making things that can make me money. Change app direction to web tool. Yes. Okay, so basically I'm changing my app direction into a web tool. which is really nothing more than me just saying that instead of going down the road of apps for mobile devices, it's going to be web-driven apps, because I already know the platforms better and I'm not starting from scratch as far as knowledge goes. You'll get into this common issue where you'll end up just learning new stuff, but you never apply it, or you don't apply it constantly, and repetition's important. Get a pay raise, make more income. Yes. So obviously I did get a pay raise. At work, at my old job, I asked for a pay raise. They gave me a pay raise. I didn't think it was sufficient. I asked for more, and long story short, they didn't give me that. So I told them I basically was looking for more, and I was looking for more of a challenge, and whatever the case was. The point is, I did get a pay raise at my old job, so that's good. I did ask for a raise, and my skill set was able to justify that, and then I switched to a new job where I've gotten an even larger pay difference, and it's made a big difference for us at home. So yes, I have gotten the pay raise, and I am making more income. Then also one of the things I started to do for the first time is I began YouTube monetization. Now I would say that the YouTube monetization is just more me starting to explore this thing that I've been wanting to do for a long time called passive income, where essentially things I'm putting work into start to return on investment for me. And it could be anything, but in this case, YouTube is giving me the opportunity to just go ahead and click monetize, and I figure, why not? I have long enough video content that it really justifies having a commercial or so in between. So yeah, YouTube monetization has started. It's not a lot of money. It's not like it's gonna supplement any sort of income. You know, we're talking like $10 a month. It's not a lot, okay? But as the channel grows, it'll go up a little bit, and really that'll be just sort of nice things. Maybe I can end up getting Christmas presents with it eventually. Or ultimately, actually what I would like to do is, once the YouTube monetization gets to a point that's reasonable, I can actually start taking some of that money and reinvesting into the channel. So I can go ahead and start doing things like, you know, having some sort of contest, or having actually like TubeBuddy, right? An extension where I can actually use it for better SEO of the site and actually have a paid version instead of the free version, which has limitations. That kind of stuff. Did I get more organized? I would say yes, and the biggest thing is what I did is I started to get more focused. So I wasn't spread out everywhere. I wasn't doing all this different stuff. I definitely do write down things just so I don't forget them. It sounds silly, but writing things down, it's physically there, it's real, you gotta go for it. And so I'm starting to write things down that I want to address, want to talk about, or I want to do. These mini tasks and goals for the day, they just work. Scheduling, and I also put them down in an app called Asana, and that's just a basic task management. You can go crazy with it, but really I just write down a task so I don't forget it, and then just delete it, that's it. Scheduling out YouTube videos, recording sessions, I have gotten better about it. So essentially what I am able to do now is record, let's say, 5 videos, and then schedule them out for the next few days or weeks or whatever the case is. And it's something that I think is important enough, I might, pop it in, so I might have an additional video for the given month, but yeah, or week, for the given week. Social media engagement. So you can see that. Social media engagement. Comment at least 3 times a week. Share. Yes. Whatever. So I have gotten better about this. This is still, once again, something that I'm not just, I don't know. Because once again, a lot of how I watch YouTube is I listen to people. And so I'm not always available in the comment section. I'm not always available. The best I can do is usually like it. I'm like, oh, you know what? Give them a like. So I don't always give comments, but I try to. I don't always reply right away, but I do reply eventually, and I am getting much better about sharing other content that I like, or whatever the case is. So that's something that's going to get better with time, and once I find sort of a system that's kind of a little bit more natural to my flow, kind of figure out how my whole workflow schedule is going to be moving forward. Produce more video content. Yes, focus on YouTube has increased. So obviously I'm doing more YouTube videos, and like I said, I think this YouTube thing could be something. I think it has potential. And with that being said, what I'm going to do is I'm spending a little bit more time on these videos, but not a lot, because I got a lot of videos to make, and I got a lot of reasons why I do things the way I do. But maybe we'll change things up a little bit, experiment, and see what happens. But yes, we are focusing more on YouTube. Schedule change, so I have tweaked things in the schedule so that I have been able to hit a minimum, which was my initial goal, my minimum of one video a week. Whatever it is, at least release one video a week. I don't have a set day of the week. I haven't made that kind of commitment yet. Maybe that'll be a new goal. But I do have a commitment of at least one video a week. And I'm experimenting with different processes, editing, release process, and how that all works. That's just the production flow. Got to figure out how exactly that's going to work best. So at this point in time, I'm really, really happy to say that my initial goal of getting 100 subscribers has obviously been accomplished. So that's pretty sweet. Let's see right here.
Hi,
okay,
I'm Chris.
at the point of this video, I have 342 subscribers. That's pretty cool. Like, that is pretty cool. So thank you everybody who is a subscriber. Thank you everybody who watches, because that's a pretty big deal. For me, it's a pretty big deal because that's a lot of people that I don't know. One of the things is I initially made my videos, but I didn't want like my initial base just to be like friends and family and people who know me, because I want people to find me organically and kind of figure it out from there. And then we can add on friends, family, etc. Because I want to get a sense for people who this is reaching out to, it's actually helping them and affecting them, and it's useful for them, which actually has been the case. Like, I have gotten a number of messages from people saying, "Hey man, thanks, like this is awesome, you know, whatever," and you know, like, can you help me out with this, or just giving input. Whatever the case is, it's been pretty cool to hear from a lot of different people from all over the world as far as what my input is, which is interesting because I didn't really think about that part of it, right? That people would actually be contacting me, asking me for my advice. Granted, that's kind of what I'm doing on YouTube, but I didn't really think that much about it in regards to the fact that for some people, like, hey, I am new to code. Could you help me out? Could you explain this to me, or whatever the case is? So, yeah. It's cool. VR education. So VR is the future, guys. I don't necessarily know exactly how it's going to happen, but the reality is that it is happening. I so badly want the HTC Vive. It's so cool, guys. It's so cool. If everybody here buys one, maybe the value will, maybe the market will drop it a little bit because the demand will be higher and they can produce more. If not, one day I'm getting that thing. Anyways, but my idea of VR education is switching up a little bit. So one of the things is I'm going to do some exploration into VR, but once again, using the tools and resources I already know. I understand JavaScript, so you know what? I'm going to be messing around with 3JS, right? I'm going to be messing around with maybe A-Frame. There's other VR tools that already exist for JavaScript developers. I'm going to explore that idea and see where it can take me, especially because I want to get involved with animation. It just kind of seems to segue directly in. Whether it's 2D or 3D, the case is that I need to start exploring animation, and that's going to segue me into VR. VR education, taking things into a focus on animation next year. Yeah, that's obvious. So let's ignore that one. And that's it. So that's actually what I initially had written down. Now, for those of you who have been following me, obviously quite a bit has started happening since then. I already recapped the big things in a previous video, but one of the things that I think is important is one of the things that's going to be important for the following year is towards the end of this year, I started to find a direction. I started to find animation. I started to find how animation and front-end development can finally merge and how I can make that happen. So next year will be interesting, and a lot's going to happen. If you have any thoughts, questions, ideas for it, let me know. But I'm going to try and wrap this up, guys. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day, and I will talk to you later.